What's up, Ner? How's it going? How you doing today? How's everything going on with you? It's about to be Thanksgiving, so I figured the long table feast between the guilds was appropriate, and to see where the obvious going point from here, as the two guilds have their unification, not unification, I guess their alliance. With Gold Owl, one thing I'm very curious about Gold Owl isn't like the top three. It's what Mishima's plan is to do with the other characters while like the top three are fighting. What's up? My name is Jeff. How are you doing? Because like the top three can only obviously fight so many people. I assume it's only going to be like it's going to be between 3 to 5. I guess honestly it would depend how powerful their guildmaster is. Because if it is Viernes, then there being a lot of people to fight, like required to fight him, would make a lot of sense. What would the Signario sisters be like? Misaki and Urza, and then God Serena, I assume that is going to be fighting Gajil. So it's just what everybody's otherwise is going to be fighting the Gold Owl Guildmaster. I kind of like the idea that the Guildmaster isn't Viernes, but the Guildmaster is directly connected to Viernes. Like, imagine it's essentially how all the Dragon Slayers are with their dragons, with like almost this like parent-like situation. But he starts a guild, but he has connections with Viernes, and that's one of the things that makes it so like his guild is able to like spike up rank so fast, as he obviously has this ancient knowledge and skill with the dragon. I don't know. Like the Chainsaw Man anime, yeah, it's been looking pretty good. It's been solid. I've been really, well, I mean, like I knew it was going to be good based on the team, based on the people that are on in the animation studio, and I've been just happy to see that it's been living up to it. Next week is a schedule break for Tabata, but this week is a sudden one, but it's a bit weird. It's probably he's just been exhausted, but I think he just had a thing where he said his wife got out of the hospital. I don't know if she was sick or something, so I'm guessing that maybe he's like taking an extra week off to I don't know, just do stuff with her, like take care of her and help her rest back in. Also, just look at this picture, I just noticed is like how tall Scoleon's horns look. He's like, his horns are like a solid 2 feet above his head in this picture. And I think it's just this picture, because I don't think they're that long. It's really cool, but it has the spoilers in the opening, though. I mean, the Chainsaw Man spoilers in like the opening, there's like barely anything you can understand without context. It's not like, opening 4 directly shows you Gajil and Natsu teaming up to fight Laxus. It's not one of those kind of ones. It just gives you a little bit of like vague bits that are hidden amongst movie references, so I think it's fine. Oh, in the lyrics? I don't know. Makima's a cool villain. I like her, though. I mean, she's very dislikable, but I mean, that makes her good, though, as a villain, so I'm cool with it. I'm so hyped. It's like, what, 9 days until the next, like, really, like, 8 days or so, 8 and some change until the new Pokemon games. Man, I got a little spoiled. I saw there's a Mimic Pokemon. As long as that thing evolves, I'm gonna catch it and put it on my team. But if it doesn't evolve, I don't know about that. I very rarely take the ones that don't evolve. It's the bug Pokemon I want to see. The bug Pokemon I'm very hyped for. What about you guys? Like, what's everybody's like awaited attribute or like type for the next gen? Because I feel like 90-something% of the time, if you're talking to any anime or manga fans, if you're talking about Pokemon, they're probably gonna have like a positive answer. Because there's like just a default with Pokemon. Do you like that Wayne turns into be? I like the little tiny chibi Gwaine. It's gonna depend on like how exactly it goes in full act, because we really just saw kind of like how Percival is when Percival's in the goofy like chibi. It's not like what is represented the same. Kind of like how Charmy is a lot of the time, but then when we see what Charmy actually looks like and how Charmy actually exists for the most part, she looks way more normal. I see the new Sonic game. Yeah, but I'm not a big Sonic fan. I haven't played much for Sonic games, so like I'm just never gonna see a Sonic trailer and get that hyped. It looks cool, so I hope the Sonic fans are gonna enjoy it though. Watching change to androids. Oh yeah, it's this one. Oh, maybe it's Jeff is talking about some fetish stuff. Oh gosh, my guy, settle down a bit. Tabata taking the break. I mean, I'm just hoping that Tabata's okay. Obviously, I'm hoping it's nothing bad. If it's something like he just needed an extra week for his family or something, I think that's fine. Other Pokemon after Sinnoh League, really? Like Pokemon, I don't know. I just feel like I tried to get out of Yu-Gi-Oh and like Power Rangers and all that stuff for a while. And I'm trying to think of like what I watched in the meantime, but it's like some of them I felt like I was just too old for, but it's like they're made for everybody, so it's like after coming back, it's like I'm just gonna stay here. They're fun, so I'm good. Sinnoh was cool, but like I've actually genuinely enjoyed all the generations for the most part. Like some of the remakes I've not been as hyped on because it's boring when they're just a one for one slightly better looking remake. I like when they improve upon it. Whereas the new gens, like even some of the, like, I know some people weren't as big of fans of Sword and Shield. I liked them, and Sun and Moon I thought were fun too. They weren't my favorites. I still need to play Arceus, but I'm gonna play this new one, and I'll probably upload it on the channel. I'll probably do some stuff for stuff in the background. Because luckily for me, I'm gonna be playing a good chunk early with Pokemon, so I'll play a good couple hours and then I'll upload it so people can see a little bit ahead. I'll wait until like midnight so the game is out to upload. I guess maybe some of it, or maybe I'll just say fuck it because it's like who really cares. Well, no, because I think if I upload it early, then Nintendo will come after me, want to eat my ass or something. I don't want that. Don't need them. Don't need them coming my way. I'll wait until like after. I'll just be like right at midnight. I'll put out some. So I'll probably play for like 4 or 5 hours when I first get it. Cause like I really want to just delve into the new game. Cause like so I played recently Temtem. I didn't finish it, but I backed it when it was still in its GoFundMe stage, and then it finally came out and I played it, and I didn't look at any of the beta or any of the upcoming parts and patches and updates in the game, but because I wanted to go in blind, and so I went in without knowing much of what is what in the game, and it was, regardless of it always being a Pokemon clone, it was so much fun just to go in bushes and stuff and see creatures that you didn't know about, and I've always enjoyed that about going into new Pokemon generation games, and I've successfully done that for the most part. Every time, I think for the one that I went in with most knowledge was like Gen 5, I think. But other than that, I've only looked at certain spoilers, and I'm hyped for this. The Four Nights chapter, it was fine. I'm very interested to see what's up with Camelot and these weird like cube craters. Like, why are they chunks gone? Are they like stealing chunks of the land for Camelot? I was like, I mean, you don't really need to, because it would be, because Arthur can just make it. It's probably more like they're just attacking areas, and it's like there was a clan there or some shit, and they just decided to assault them. Doesn't seem like a lively stream tonight. We'll see how long we can go, and see how long if people want to chill and hang out, or if it's going to be one of those unfortunate days where it just kind of goes quiet. I'm hoping it gets a little bit more lively, because I've been wanting to do a stream for a bit. I haven't been able to for a while. Hold on a second. Listen, Jeff, my cats are well behaved for the most part. They don't cause much trouble. But, what was I saying? I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm very, very hyped up to see whatever Celine's backstory is going to be in the next couple chapters. I don't know if it's going to be a full one. I'm kind of hoping we see that Irene and Celine met at some point. Because one thing about them that is very intriguing is if she's going to talk about this 100-year wish, if for the most part Celine's story is going to be within the last 100 years, that would mean that she's full within range to have been active with Irene to a point that is believable, to where they were within level, or were still within, I guess, still within like a degree of respect to each other, and or maybe they, we could get some knowledge on the two characters, but who knows. Surprise super late stream. It's 2:15 in the morning here in the civilized world. Man, I don't know where is it just Armenia where you're at that it's 2 a.m. in the morning? Because I don't know what you're talking about, man. You are at least determined. I'm only reading 4 nights to find out the real reason why Merlin wanted Arthur to have the chaos. I just want to see the story. I've been enjoying 4 nights. These are so peak. It's insane. Oh yeah, well, it's Armenian Wolf. It's clearly Nev's, unlike Fairy Tail giving us the bath scene every 2 weeks. I mean, I wouldn't say every 2 weeks. Well, I guess they're probably going to be in there next time after Slane's story. But it's like, this is a cooldown chapter in between arcs. I can guarantee you, after we get through this arc in Eden Zero, there's going to be like a cooldown bit where they're going to be doing something goofy and going to some like fan servicey scenario that is also supposed to like have something to do with like advancement in maybe some character backstory or some relationship stuff. You can't trick me, Nebs. I know you show up with like a different picture and a different name every 3 weeks, but still. What do you think the Eden's One can do? I don't know. The Eden's One, now that you really think about it with like the knowledge of the Eden Zero, the Eden's One's like specs, creation, and a creator, like everything about the Eden's One is interesting enough to a degree of what I used to think about Ziggy, but Ziggy's role seemed to be way smaller than where I had thought, and it seems more of it was how this weird ship situation is going. Like, Eden Zero is definitely in a really cool spot right now. You play League, yeah. Which championship do you think would best suit Natsu? Probably like Set or someone who just beats the shit out of people. I've been waiting for everyone to take over Wendy again and speak up. I'm waiting for us to have some form of like progressive idea of where that's going to be going right now. Hope the bot will be okay. I lost a family member recently, so I'm a bit worried. I would hope Tabata's okay too. I'm sorry to hear about your family member though. Seeking sideline for a fish this morning. Well, it's not the fish, it's the machine that is controlling the fish. Big fish bot. Plus the fish bot is cool. I like the Eden's One's design. It's a big bulky fish man. Eden's One definition, there's always a bigger fish. That is also true actually, now that you mention it. I'm just waiting. Oh, I heard this one. I know Crisel's just to come and dunk on Percy for no reason at all. Zeldris wouldn't do that. He's nice. And he likes it. I'm sure he would like Percival. Percival's a nice little fellow. Zeldris is not, he's not malefic. He doesn't seem just like wicked for no reason. He's like Vegeta. Once he got some girl, he was able to calm down enough to the point where he could pretty much just move to like full anti-hero position. Enough to be at least quelled and not untamed, I guess. What else is going in the series? The Vegapunk design. I don't know if you guys saw anything about Vegapunk's design. I feel, again, I'm not a huge fan of Oda's designs. I know I've mentioned that before. But this one is some of it is more confusing to me. Like, I get he's got like the Einstein look off the famous picture. He's got the big goofy tongue out. He's got this big Ed Netty fucking tongue. It's like where his head used to be really big. Okay, but where it comes down and it has like this apple top thing going on. I'm just curious of how that works. either way, the design. I'm happy that Mishima is the one drawing and designing stuff in my favorite series, not Oda. I know Oda loves the goofy design, so this is one of those times where I'm just like, man, no, thank you. And for Eden's one to go overdrive. I wonder how that would work though. I guess if it's like an ether being and the thing has its own ether, it should be able to, regardless of what type it is. But it's like, what kind of ether gear would it use? Would it just have, I guess, some just innate overdrive ability? I guess that would still be pretty cool. The Eden's one for one, I'm hoping we get a name for this big main new villain, and two, I would really like to, and that's where it's like it's going to be built up in tease, and maybe it's going to be one of the heavenly knights, and it's going to be like some disgraced knight, some evil legend that they have to defeat or something. What if the machine's also really racist? I don't know about that, my guy. I don't know what exactly you guys were fully talking about, but it is what it is. See, even in this picture, look in this picture right now. I want everyone right now to look at this picture that's here real quick. Look at everybody at the table. Look at everybody at the table and look where they're faced. Everybody on the fairy tale side is facing their opposing character in Diablos. Laxus Kirin, Haku Wendy, Kiria Lucy, Natsu Suzaku, Gray Scollion, Misaki Urza, Madmol Gajo. Mishima has to have something planned. Like, again, I don't need it to be some big battle between either of them. The only ones I would like to really see in terms of like a big fight would be Gray and Scollion. But I would love to see some skirmishes and these characters fight again, because it's very clear Mishima has them with a direction of who like their opposing group is, and he has them at the exact number too. We have side members of Diablos, and I really am hoping we get some of the side members to join. Like, I talked about how I really would love the idea of just some like weaker members, just to kind of really push the presence of like Lucy and Wendy up. Have some people below them that are capable but aren't as powerful as and capable as these two. That way it would really showcase more of their progress and where their standing is right now. Oda can probably make Vegapunk parts of his brain and give each to his clones. That'd be kind of neat. Like, if it's like he has to like do some dissection thing with his brain, or if it's like, I'm trying to think of like how it would make sense, like power wise. I feel like it's the only thing that would make sense with like how his head's gotten so small, unless it's like he has like a, imagine it, not this, but like the idea of this. Imagine it's like his head turns into like a really giant stack, kind of like a disk drive, like tons of disk drive spots, where you put information on a disk and put it in his head, and then it will go down, and that's the top, and it would open up, and he could take out and put in information or something kind of like how What's Her Name Pudding has, but in a different way, but it's set specifically on his brain. I don't know, some goofy but kind of neat at the same time is what I'm expecting with Vegapunk. Like, it's very clear that Oda gave him a goofy design, no really cool looking robots except for what the Shaka one is kind of cool looking. Its design is alright, it's not great. But other than that, it's just kind of neat, but he hasn't done anything really cool. Maybe his like really cool robot or weapon is something he keeps locked up and he doesn't just keep out on display. Because usually Oda's like the opposite of Mishima, where Mishima always has one goofy person, where Oda usually has lots of goofy people that are capable, but one really actual serious person amongst that goofy person group. So we'll see. We'll see exactly what Vegapunk brings to the table. Young Dragon was hot, gave me Gajo vibes. Oh yeah, he doesn't look very cool or interesting without his face tattoo, but I feel like that's just because his face tattoo is really the only thing you see about him that stands out. Other than York are hot. They're okay. I haven't Fortnite since the weird Jericho reveal. The Jericho reveal, I imagine, definitely turned some people away. Chaos Merlin gonna go burr. I mean, what is she gonna really do? Because I feel like most of the stuff she would be able to already perform, not like to the same degree, but like really, what's she gonna gain that would be that much of an extra for her? I feel like maybe it's just summoning, or like maybe she uses chaos and it like mutates her power. I guess maybe that. Like maybe she's like, oh yeah, chaos on my arm gives me chaos witch hands that let me quadruple every spell or something. I like the idea of giving her something that doesn't make her absurdly more powerful. It just complicates how her powers like are dealt. Like literally, it's like, oh yeah, she can because of infinity, she can just use obviously every one of her spells, and it was any amount of times with no drain, but also it now casts multiple times, and for no additional time cast or something. That'd be neat. How's it going, Gino Jace? How you doing today? I want to see Shuriken Eden Zero. I still have the hopes that Shura is gonna have in some way come back in time because of the antimatter bombs and something. I don't know. It'll be a question. It'll be something to see what Mishima has planned, if anything. Otherwise, he's just gonna be space dust for being an evil Jokerish man. Man, but yeah, probably because I wanted to start Arceus. I procrastinated too much, and then Scarlet is about to come out. What I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna play Scarlet, and then after I beat Scarlet, I'll play Shield, and then Arceus, and then maybe I'll go to like Kingdom Hearts or something for the channel. Maybe I'll play one of my more side scroller games, and I'll cut them up and I'll put them off on the side and just kind of do some fun things just for people to have on stock for the members. What's up, Happy the Assassin? How you doing? We'll see. I've been wanting to really kind of figure out my full scale plans. I might actually have to switch more to the live stream style, but I want to do more with videos, but I haven't been able to stick to that like I've wanted to. But we'll see. I just got to figure out what would be, when it comes down to it, what will work with my schedule, obviously. So I want to keep something that will have the channel with a level of, obviously a level of frequency and consistency, but maybe it'll be streams. I don't know, because I feel like streams, it's easy just to do like an hour and a half stream every other every other 2 days or something, 2 or 3 days, do a stream for like 1.5 hours, 2-3 hours, rather than do a video. But we'll see. That might be the move, because I wanted to get back to videos, but I feel like just the amount of editing, it just takes too long. I'd rather just make thumbnails and then do a stream. Chica Black Summer makes knocked forms redundant. I liked Nox fused forms better. There's a high chance Gajo's gonna get a form, because if I'm not gonna do the video for it, I might as well talk about it. For the fact that if Natsu gets to keep his dragon fire that he's eaten, Gajo should be able to eat any type of dragon metal. So once we get to Viernes, if he eats some of Viernes' gold, he should be able to gain it permanently. At least when he goes into Dragon Force, he should theoretically gain all the other properties of dragon metals that he's consumed. Next episode, for 1,000 Year Blood War, Shozanka no Tachi, let's go. That's going to be pretty sweet. I can't wait to see the reaction for that one, because I know that's going to be super hype. When we get ridiculously complex ability like Nalia Zenin, Nalia's power is just being a bum. So Shiki and the Wormhole ability, how do I feel about that? I like the Wormhole ability. I've been saying for a long time, I wanted Shiki to get Wormholes over Black Holes. Black Holes are just neat because they're OP. Wormholes would completely expand how Shiki can fight, so it would just be an extra bonus to how he already has this like very heavy movement and quick placement style of combat. So him getting Wormhole, I thought made sense. Once Narrow got it, I thought, oh shit, now he's not going to get it. And then Ziggy got it, and then now Shiki has it. I'm happy Shiki has it. I don't want Shiki to have Ether Drain. I don't like that. I don't want Shiki to just start draining people and getting their powers and then become some Deku-like situation. Shiki with Wormhole is already a huge plus because it mentions he can do Black Sky, and he can do some instant transmission Kamehameha type shit where he just goes Black Sky, prepares it, Wormholes instantaneously right up to you and throws it right in your face. I'll just get Dragon Force first if anything. Well, Gajil just needs to get to the point where he can use it at will. But I think Gajil getting some form of big bonus in the next arc when it's going to be a Metal Dragon themed, that it just feels likely, and as well as I think deserved. Imagine if 100 Years Quest gets 1,000 Blood Roar treatment. I hope so, man. I just hope it looks good. Here's the thing. I don't mind if the parts where characters are just standing and talking looks alright. It doesn't have to be amazing. I would love for it just to look just not choppy, where it just looks like, oh yeah, they're just hanging out. They're not going to do anything over and extra for them just going alongside the road and going into to talk to people in Ermina. Like, keep it to where it's faithful to the manga. If they want to crisp it up and just make it a little bit neater, do it. But don't add a bunch of don't do any crazy animation bits for Gray coming out and seeing the water or something. But it's do crazy animation bits for seeing Eleftheria or Kyria doing her secret art or stuff like that. I want to see some neat, cool animation stuff for stuff like that. But we'll see. I'm skeptical, but I'm hoping, and it has been showing that a lot more studios are realizing especially the people who back them, if they make the fight scenes and stuff look really good, it tends to boost sales on both ends of the anime and the manga and merchandise. So it's just an all-around increase instead of giving it shitty salad chop animation or something. I think he is the weapon student searching for in all those worlds. That would actually be really cool. That would be a really neat twist if what she needed was E&D and she decides to backstab Natsu and all them at some point because she's it's the only way. He was made to be a weapon. I think it'd be cool. I just pray the dragons are not CGI. I just hope they look fine. For one, the CGI, as long as they do it kind of sparingly and they make it look not Play-Doh-y, that'll be fine. Because CGI is definitely getting better. Chainsaw Man CGI looks fine. I'm fine as long as the Dragon Force isn't yellow. I agree. I don't want Natsu to have the gold Dragon Force. I think there'll be anything bigger than Dragon Force eventually in the manga. Well, I mean, there's stuff bigger in terms of the over series arc, but for Dragon Slayers, that's their final thing. Once you master Dragon Force, you would become a full dragon. So you gain all the benefits to being a dragon and all the dragon additions to your stats, your capabilities. So you don't really need it at that point. You've already mastered it. At that point, it's just becoming more powerful as a dragon. Think about it. It's imagine you're a wood dragon slayer. Eventually, you become Alderaan, but it's the small Alderaan. You're I don't know, the size of a mountain. Bam. Then you become big enough to have a city on you. Bam. Then you become as big as Alderaan ended up being. It's just one of those things that I feel would just be a stage of progress. At the point you become a dragon, it's just, at that point, how high can you climb and not about what other secret things can you unlock and gain. It's just a power climb at that point. Eleftheria has been really sus reaction. Natsu said he'd kill Akinogi. Eleftheria has been sus the whole time. Tokyo Variant's animation is horrendous, yet top 3 selling manga last year. And man, apparently the manga is not doing well. People are not happy about Tokyo Revengers, it would seem. I never read it, so I don't really care. But I'm just kind of waiting to see the general response of where it all goes. I gotta do my next chapter predictions. I'll put it out tomorrow. Where's my phone at? I gotta make sure I know what time I gotta wake up tomorrow. I think I gotta. I'm trying to remember what time I have to be at work. I think it's like noon or some shit. One sec. If Natsu gets a dragon form, would he age? I feel like once you achieve the dragon form, you stop aging because their human form isn't their actual, like, it's not their actual body at that point. It's what they look like as a human, yeah, but it's not what their current body is like because they're permanently altered to be a dragon. Like Celine, or sorry, not Celine. Irene's body is the dragon form. The human form we see a lot of the time in Alvarez arc is a fake one. That's why even when she's in that form, she still can't sleep. Food, she doesn't like have a taste. She doesn't get like she just is never getting sleepy, or at least not able to sleep. I feel like it's more like crazed induced insomnia, like we're looking sleep and not like actually, because she seems fine now. Do you think the White Wizard created face? I think actually after some of the wording that like the face is something that happens on every world and it's something that just will occur. We were promised staying in Rogue 50 months ago. They'll get there. Just give it time. They have to make sense coming to the store. What's up, Guillotine? Doesn't Natsu have antibodies? You shouldn't be able to turn into a full dragon, though. Well, the thing is, like, I think that really only ended up being temporary because I don't think there's any real way to stop it. Because the idea is, with dragon slaying magic, it's both the frequency you use it, so how often you use it, and then the power amount. And then I would imagine, like, it, you know, experience and stuff. But it's like, it's an overall, in multiple areas, progressing system that's turning you into a dragon. So, it's, like, imagine it as, like think of, like, if it was Pokemon. Think of how poison works. Like, it does a set damage. And it's like, you make the antibodies can cure it. But think of how toxic works. How it increases over time. I imagine as the Dragon Slayers keep getting stronger, keep getting pushed, keep having to advance their dragon slaying magic, it's eventually just going to become too much for the antibodies to keep up. And unless they stop and just let them, like, I would imagine if they stopped and just kind of, like, let it quell everything out, that'd be one thing. Maybe that's why Godjiel doesn't have Dragon Force, is he takes long breaks, whereas everybody else is more active. I think that would make a lot of sense. Oh, when Chad really didn't suffer like Irene. What are you talking about? How would Frey take on Diablo's fare against the Sternritters? I think they'd clap. The only person that's really dangerous in the Sternritters, like, as a whole, is Yuha Bach. Your promise and Easer console game. The console game I'm very curious about because they've had, like, nothing for that one. It's been really weird. But I feel like that's the same thing as this 100 Years Quest. I think they announced it too early. Because I think it's one of those things that they announced just because of where the anime was. Because it was like, what, like around where the anime was going to come out. And I think it was just to build up a little hype. Because the game is still in limbo. I was wondering how Irene couldn't turn back into a human form and act in Logia and the other Dragon Gods could. Well, the Dragon Gods aren't. They're just using transformation magic. Irene was immediately freaking out, whereas I would imagine Acnologia, way more level-headed, didn't have a mental breakdown and went out of his way to learn transformation magic. Because it doesn't look like it is that hard of a thing to do. It looks always more like Irene is just somebody who was crazy and then abandoned all connections to society and advancements in magic and research capabilities and then just fled. Game was canceled? Was it really canceled? That would suck if so. Misaki and Haku are the only ones without their attribute mentioned. Kieran's is still a little weird because he says yellow, but like his dragon is the lightning dragon. So I feel like I feel like the wording is I guess like because yellow could be like an overarching thing, but like usually with colors, something like white, it's a special type of magic because it's both holy and light magic, whereas yellow is, I guess yellow is with the atmosphere. I don't know. Acnologue, you never suffer the taste, smell side effects. I mean, those were things that like it messed with your senses and capabilities. We saw giant chunks of time gaps between acnologias. Like we didn't see a detailed point of, oh man, when this started happening, it was, I'm gonna learn dragon slaying magic, and the next time we see him, he's strong enough to blitz and murder dragons, and his hair is grown dramatic. Actually, no, his hair I think was grown long before, because it was that gap when the dragons came back. I think his hair was grown, but he, once we see him again, he's changed outfits and he's got to a point where he can one hand murder the like your average dragon. Lightning is yellow in Fairy Tail. Well, we've had both blue and yellow lightning is the thing. There's been any not moments in 2 years. Give it time. They'll do it in the setup. Actually, they had one last chapter. I guess really when you think about it. Monday's episode of Bleach has me thinking about how much of a slaughter will be if Natsu is there. Bleach is lacking heat resistance feats. Well, they only have like 2 good fire users. They have Basby and Yamamoto, so it's not that hard for them, or it's not that fair for them. Acnologue is also created, depicted a lot of other dragon stuff was thought of early installments of two. What are you talking about? Can't wait for 121. Yeah, I want to know what Mishima has planned. I feel like it has to do with the Celine backstory, and we're going to be getting something like really important and cool about Celine. I think that's the most likely thing as of right now because of where it is, unless it's going to have to do with Urza and Irene somehow connecting, and maybe Mishima's going to connect Celine to Irene, but who knows how that's going to go and where that's going to kind of all lay out. So Nalumo was pretty short. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be focused on them. You gotta be fair about it. I think Acno is insane. The difference is that insanity was benefit. I don't know about like how much you can look at Akinogi as being insane, and it's just like he's just so far gone that his where he is mentally is just not at a place where he he can really be realistically counted on to change or to really kind of like do anything different. But also, really quick, I'd really appreciate it for the people here if you'd thumbs up the stream, hit the befriend the like button, subscribe button. And if you feel like, if I've earned at least $1 of your time, you can either donate to stream, or if you don't feel like doing a donation, there's a membership that is, like I said, only $1 a month. I'm going to be doing a playthrough of the new Pokemon Scarlet game. I should be actually getting it early, so I'll be putting out my playthrough hopefully a little ahead of most people. Imagine if Machine introduced acting like a son, that'd be super hype. You want streamed Half-Life, right? Yeah, I'm going to do that again. The problem is I wanted to do it in one long playthrough, but like I just didn't have the energy to do it because I was tired, and I just didn't really have the drive, I guess, and to play through it. I don't know what it is. I haven't had the want to play through any like games in full lately. But I feel like there just hasn't been a lot of games lately that have made me really want to just sit down and play them. There's like Blade Assault I really liked, but like that style of game, after a while it's more about the challenge of like defeating the bosses rather than the progression through the game. Which Shiki Overdrive do I like more? Oh, I like the second one. Once he was like in the second one, he was floating and just like doing the black sky with the one hand in the air. It looked so cool. I really liked how it looked. It looked slick. Yeah, I'll do Half-Life again. That'll be probably one of the games I play again. if they add the new God of War to PC, I'll play it. There's a couple that I definitely am gonna put on the list. Do you think a Half-Life 3 would stand out in today's shooter market? Yeah, dude. Half-Life is just fun in general, and it's a good story. Like all you have to do really is introduce a couple neat new guns, because most of the games now, the shooters, they focus more on the quantity of like neat guns, which is fine because you know a lot of them will have large arsenals and large player bases that everybody's gonna run out their favorite guns. But Half-Life, like the way that always was, is you would have all the normal guns and weapons, but you would have a couple really neat ones that were stand out and unique to the game and unique to the environment. So if they have a couple really neat guns, maybe throw the gravity gun back in there. I'm sure a Half-Life game, Half-Life 3 coming out would be great. So it seems I can self-hope for Misaki. I liked what Misaki did last chapter. I like that she just seems just overly friendly to her allies when they're like in their downtime scenarios. I thought that was nice. And like she's very nice to guests. I thought that was just a friendly little bit for her character. It wasn't a ton, but at least it was something that she didn't have before. So Misaki getting a little bit of a addition for her stock is nice just in general. I gotta set up my oh shit! I gotta set up my Switch docking station for when I do my Pokemon stuff. What, like a week now? We think a week until the new game. Is anybody else gonna get the new one? The next game, Scarlet and Violet. I assume that most of people on any Twitter are gonna be getting it. Right. Well, I would say maybe not everybody on like day one, but I feel like most people are gonna try for day one because it's just gonna be when everything is at its most untapped. Because some people look at spoilers. I feel like a majority of Pokemon fans don't look at spoilers for the most part. They'll look at some, but not like the bulk of the game. They're not gonna look at everything like or some people look at everything. They want to know 100% before the game comes out and shit like that. So like both Dogremag and Aknoella turned out to be bums. Dogremag got a good chunk more. Aknoella got like beat fast. She did not really get anything. Dogremag got a little bit, so I was happy about that. He got a chunk. He didn't get as much as I would have liked. I haven't played Alex yet. If Mishima worked in Half-Life 3, we'd get a squirt gun. If Mishima worked in Half-Life 3, we'd probably get something like... What kind of weird gun would he make? It would probably have some weird crystal time... Like, it absorbs starlight and shoots time bullets or something. And the bullets shoot them, but they wait a few seconds, and then they shoot them from that spot 3 seconds into the future. Or something. I don't know. Or 3 seconds in the past. Ryu's give me sus vibes. I agree. That dude, like, he gives a little bit, but I think he's fine, actually. I feel like his susness is a false flag. Or Spiral Evolutions look horrible. Oh, don't tell me, please. I haven't seen them. I don't want to see them. Dogs are powerful. Power was there. The spoilers of one of Pokemon games are on the Pokemon themselves. I mean, yeah, but that's like half the fun. Half the fun is like going into the bushes and running into something you hadn't seen. The last new Pokemon I can think of, like the one that pops into my head, is... What's the one... Is it... Hang on a second. Pokemon... What's the little squad Pokemon? Phalanx, I think it's called. Yeah, I like that little guy. When I found him, I caught him, and then I looked in the Pokédex, and I saw that there was nothing after it, and it didn't evolve, and I was furious. I was so mad because I loved it. I thought it was so neat. It's just this little... It's like the idea of, like, you know, you have like Dugtrio or Magneton or freaking Execute. You have this one that's like this cute little hive mind. I love it, but it didn't get an evolution, so I was pissed. I don't know why they would do that. That was a cruel decision. They should have gave it some cool like little combo, or at least like something evolves into this, and this is the evolution. I really like this little guy, but I have a bias against Pokemon that don't evolve. If they don't evolve, I probably won't like it. I'm very excited. We're coming up for Christmas soon. I got some stuff on my list. I really want to get some new hoodies. There's a couple hoodies I really want to get, but I got to figure out how I got to balance everything around like what I can get for myself, and then obviously I got to get presents for people. I know other people probably in the same boat. Did Ignil take Acnologia's arm so he'd be weaker? I mean, Acnologia wasn't fighting at full capacity, so I think he just didn't put in the strength and got caught out a little bit, and that's how he was able to take his arm. We'll see. I might try the streams more again because I wanted to move back to videos, but I just don't think I'll have like the problem is like I don't think I'll have the time, and I don't want to get to the point where I don't have any time to do anything and my channel dies out. Because I still want to talk about the stuff. Like, I want to talk about the chapters. And obviously, I'm doing the chapter release ones. But maybe I'll just do ones where I, play some games and talk to you guys or something. I'll try it out soon. Maybe we'll try it out during the first stream of Pokemon or something. We'll play some Scarlet Violet. Well, I don't know if we'll see. We'll see about streaming. Maybe I'll stream an episode, but some won't be streamed. I think that might be the move. Like, the first episode or two might be blank, or might just be for everybody, and then maybe afterwards. Like, what I might do is that I might play for, like, 3 or 4 hours and record it, upload it the next day for everybody, and then, like, a day or two later, I'll do, like, a stream for people, or, like, maybe the next day, to where, like, after, like, logically, after where people might have watched the first two, or given them time to where they can peek over to it, and then do a stream of like, oh yeah, wherever we're at now, like whatever, Gym 2 or something, Gym 3. Well, Fairy Tail and Diablo should continue this together, but they both assigned to it. I think they will. I think they'll have a nice alliance between their guilds. I think they'll be fine. Heracross is a pretty good Pokemon, even though it doesn't evolve. Heracross is cool. I do like Heracross, but it has a Mega Evolution, so you can any of the games where you can use its Mega Evolution, I don't count it. Itachi versus Sokka, who you got? Oh, Itachi, obviously. The Sokka Awaker is ridiculous. Or Zora and Leopold, the Jet, and Troy of Black Clover. Man, that's not true. Zora definitely. I mean, he did that whole point of countering a punch from Lucifaro and gave him some time to continue doing their stuff. Don't hate on my guy. Tabata definitely could have done more with him over this last arc. I would definitely agree with that. I would have loved for Zora to fight some Dark Disciple and have some really neat little bit, fight some devil, like have something, but instead he didn't really do anything. He kind of was just there. I don't know. People are really wanking on the Yami and Itachi nonsense. Yeah, people do that all the time. I think we're getting the Dranking Festival again. Yeah, Ignia doing it for like a retake. He's ready. He wants to do a full reset of that thing. He said, let's get this shit on track and on the road and get going. Looks like Oda confirmed Uta. We all saw it coming. I mean, I figured he was going to keep her in. The thing I don't like about the One Piece movies is because how they're in, like, the characters are in the canon, but you don't actually do anything. And the movies are like, what if the characters went over there? It makes it just feel like these, like, weirdly dead stories in the series because these characters just are out in the world just existing, but they never actually come upon them and never actually interact with them for the most part. But it's like, I guess the backstory parts are canon for Luffy, but nothing forward unless Oda, like, plans to bring a bunch of stuff together. If he was, maybe he'll do that, like, he'll tie a bunch of the movies and stuff into the final arc, and that's his plan. I think that would be pretty cool. Not like just he's just doing a one for one, but he takes elements of them and to make them all connect in or something. So there's like value to watching the movies. Can't imagine Igni's gonna pull off bringing the dragons back. My theory is that he's going to use a method to essentially link everybody up, force dragon slaying magic on them, and turn them into dragons. Instead of all the dragons, all the slayers raised by dragons are already dead dragons. Wait, all the slayers got raised by already dead dragons, and people in Daphne's story were the dragons don't exist anymore. There were still dragons out there. Like, what do you mean? Selene is alive. Like, she's hanging out. Igni is alive. He's still hanging out. He's doing stuff. Phoenix Priestess, a decade-old movie, better animation than 100 Years Quest anime. We don't know that. The 100 Years Quest anime is still obviously sitting in the big question mark limbo space that we don't seem to have any real confirmation on its not that its existence, its progression. We're just going to be waiting now. Seems they should live as a human, so no dragons are dead. Well, their plans are very conflicting. I want Igneous to win, though. What's the cost of bringing Serena back from the dead? Maybe gold. I wonder how their resurrection, because it's not like it's human transmutation. It's not a full resurrection. Like, I wonder what the process is and like the trade-off. Yeah, you're right. Feels bad for Natsu and Co to be raised by dead fat geckos. That's not true. They're cool. I'm kind of wondering though for some of the members of Diablos, like Misaki, if she's she's strong, capable, but she's just not as she hasn't really reached her full capabilities because maybe she just hasn't had as many fights that have pushed her like Urza has had. But I guess we don't know her backstory. Because her fighting style seems just like the least like demonstrated, like the least kind of really done. It was mostly just like her doing hack stuff, or like all the other Dragon Slayers had more going on in display and how they generally fought each other with. Like he legit beat in 4 pages. It wasn't 4 pages. Her fight was what, like a chapter and a half, 2 chapters pretty much. Thinker was based. He called Acnologia Fat Gecko. I mean, no, Zenkro was talking about Acnologia. He never met Acnologia. I'll have everyone know. I'm gonna try out the starters, but I very rarely keep the starters. So some people might get mad at me if I ditch the little dinosaur boy if I don't like its evolution. I'll probably ditch it anyway, but we'll see. I'll have to find a replacement for it, and then when I do, I'll switch it out. If Diablo says Elin Igneous plan would be an all-you-can-eat buffet. That's true. In terms of current events, Wano Arc or 1,000 Year Blood War. Oh, I like the 1,000. I mean, you can't really say it really because the 1,000 Year Blood War was only a couple episodes in. Misaki's eating in this picture. Misaki is being very polite though. She seems cool with having everybody over. Haku's just being admiring Wendy. Anyway, I think I'm gonna call it good. I'll just have a short stream today. I'll do I'll put out my chapter predictions probably tomorrow, and then what's today? Let me see. I'm busy this weekend, but what I'll probably do is I'll probably plan for next week. It'll probably just be the Pokemon one, but I'll try to record enough that it'll be like consistent, a couple consistent uploads, and then I'll do a stream and we can show up because I don't know if everybody's gonna have it like on release, or some people are gonna pick it up later, or maybe they just want to watch the game and they don't really feel like playing. Because I'm really looking forward to playing. I definitely want to just spend some time learning the new ones. Because I fell off near the end of the last one, but I liked a lot of the new Pokemon in the last one. And I wish that I had, like, I have a reason to replay it. I'll probably just play it privately since it's an older one now. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys about it later. We'll see. It'll be fun. There'll be a couple other games we'll play. We'll just kind of do some stuff. Once I get to a point where I have my more consistent stuff for members, we'll just do some like game streams where we fuck around, and maybe I'll play set up a game and